What is up, my friends? We are back for our match reaction after Liverpool beat a turgid Arsenal by a goal to nil. I use the word turgid because it was anti-football. They came not to lose that game, not to win it. They came not to lose it. So they got exactly what they deserved, which is nothing. I want to just say a quick comment before we finished up. There was somebody who put in a super chat right at the end, Janos, who said, "I am a proud Hungarian, as you should be, my man." Dominic Szoboszlai was absolutely phenomenal today. We have a lot of positives to talk about from that performance. So let's get stuck into it. Obviously, as I'm sure you're aware, Liverpool kept a clean sheet today. And I have to say, I think the defence was absolutely magnificent. We've been calling for defensive improvements and you can't get much better than that. I thought right across the back line. You can take your pick, but let's go through it and break it down. Right back, Dominic Szoboszlai. Let's remember, this is not his natural position, but he was absolutely phenomenal once again today. You're going to have your man of the match vote in a second. Surely he's got to be right there up for it. Centre-back pairings, look, let's give the flowers today. We wanted improvement from Ibrahim Konate. My goodness, we got it. He was faultless today. I know he went off at the end with what looked like a touch of cramp, but the big man put in an incredible shift. Full credit to him. Alongside him, our captain, Virgil van Dijk. Again, imperious, everything aerially that came his way, he won. Dominant performance. But the one person I really want to credit, not because I think he was in any way better, but the marked improvement from Milos Kerkez, I thought was phenomenal. I loved his performance. He battled and fought for every single ball, whether it be against Madueke, whether it be against Dowman. He stuck to his task. He never gave up. I'm so proud of that. That was a performance defensively that we can build on. And like we said, yes, it was turgid and boring at times. Yes, maybe we didn't see some of the football we liked, but it's about getting the result. The game opened up as I predicted it would as it got later. And it was a moment of magic from Dominic Szoboszlai, who deserves all the headlines. I'm looking at a replay of it now. You will struggle to see a better hit free kick all season. 25, 26 yards out, puts the boot through it, dips in, beautiful goal. That deserves to win a game of football. Elks said, Chiesa, good luck charm, comes on. Goals get scored. He was really good. That moment at the end where he won the corner. Yes, he might not have got a strike on goal, but winning the corner in that moment is every bit as good. And he did really well when he came on. For all the stick he gets, I want to say something to some people. Whoever's still slagging off Jones, wake the fuck up. Because Curtis Jones made a difference in linking up the play, in knitting that together when he came on. Whether you like him or don't like him, you got to give someone credit when they deserve it. And I thought Curtis Jones did very well when he came on. Chad said, Arnott might have a problem. No way he can take Dom out of the starting lineup. Yeah, look, it's... Who would have thought we're sitting here talking about Dom as our right back, but he can do no wrong at the minute. Whatever Dom is doing, whether it's fatherhood, whatever it is, whether it's the long hair, keep it going because he's been phenomenal. So, let's check. Do we have the man of the match poll up? I'd say we probably do. We do. Your man of the match poll today, ladies and gentlemen, Dominic Szoboszlai, Milos Kerkez, Virgil van Dijk or Alisson Becker. Have your say. Sean Ong said Trent who. Dom is a staple, said Trigger Rich. Robert Jarrett said, yes, good game. Happy Craig said Salah was our worst player. He wasn't great, and I will move on to talk about that in a moment, but let's give the flowers where they're deserved first. Hopefully, said Alex Jones, this should set up the season's tone. I love Szoboszlai, said Cecilie Bombolina. Konate was good again today, said Kaelin. Madueke pocketed. I'm glad you're giving the credit where it's due because the fullbacks were brilliant. The whole defence was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Where's this defence been? That was a defensive performance we can build on. And Konate, absolute tip of the cap to him. Didn't put a foot wrong. Brilliant. Delighted with that. You know, yes, we can do more going forward. Yes, we can link the play up as Wirtz gets to know the players. But a solid defence, that will go a long way. Where else we get? This one from Happy Craigo. Definitely Salah's last season. Elise, look, I'm still not at a point of writing Mohamed Salah off. And the whole Diogo tragedy is a big thing that we we can't just gloss over. But let's push these things to the side and talk about it honestly. Have we seen what we wanted from Salah? No, we haven't. Has it been 1 or 2 games? No, it's been every game. And today in particular, for whatever reason, he was very loose in possession. The only counter-attacks that I can think of that Arsenal had in that game were when Mo gave the ball away. This doesn't mean we don't love Mo. This doesn't mean we're trying to throw Mo aside. We're trying to call it as we see it, and he wasn't at the races again today. Ekitike keeps being substituted, and I don't think any of us have a problem with Fede coming on. But at what moment do we say something needs to change here on the right? You know, no problem with Mo getting the starts. I don't think any of us have. But if you're at 60, 65, 70, and there's still no real sign of him really being able to knit together something in the game, you know, we can't just play people and keep them on off reputation. That's the whole point of having the squad. So, yeah, not great. On the other side, Gakpo, again, could he link up play as much as we wanted? No. One thing we seemed to have a problem with today was getting bodies to go up and assist when we did get possession. But in the second half, it was better. So whatever little tweaks and changes Arna made, I do think they had a difference. And as the game got stretched, one thing I want to point out here is, as that game got stretched, you can see why Arsenal are so rigid in their performance. Because they ain't got it. When the game stretched, they're vulnerable. And we were able to find spaces and try to create. And they only look like an attacking force when we've got the goal ahead. And we drop back a bit naturally. So Arteta needs to learn, or his job's going. Because he will not win a league title showing up at your opponents with that type of performance. Frozen said, don't forget Liverpool haven't played anyone strong yet. We'll get that all season again. Look, Newcastle away is a tough result, 3 points. Arsenal at home, tough result, 3 points. You would have expected to win the Bournemouth game, but we're perfect. Come hell or high water, we'll nitpick it, we'll talk about what's good and bad, but we're perfect and we're top of the league and we're only going to get better. And we've got some difficult games out of the way. I'm buzzing with that, ladies and gents. Yes, it wasn't a vintage game, but I'm so proud of that defensive performance. Wesley said, massive step up for a back four. Kirk has stepped up. Oh, he was so good, wasn't he? I love the battling qualities. Dom as well on the other side, but Milos. What really impressed me about Szoboszlai and Kirkes was they didn't have the pace of a Martinelli or a Madueke. Not that they're slouches, but they didn't have the pace. But they didn't give up. If the player got goal side of them, they found a way to get back around. They found a way to get a block in. They found a way to stop a cross. They found a way to put them off. And that is brilliant. Brilliant. And let's not forget, we negated all their set pieces today. They got nothing. No joy, no saves forcing the keeper. Nothing from set pieces. Dave said, Szoboszlai, that shot makes my late Hungarian granny proud. From Szoboszlai to Zabos, all in the family. What a strike, Dave. What a strike from a free kick. I was thinking, this is on the edge. Does he hit it? Do we hit it? When he hit it, I had to actually look back. I seen the net ripple. I thought maybe it had gone side netting. And then I just seen the ball come across the bottom of the goal and around. And I thought, that's in. Wow. Speechless. What a strike. Long hair, daddy daycare, Dom hits different. Wow. R9-5Q said, Kirkes was brilliant today. I'm really excited to see what he can bring to the table now he's settling in. Haris, and thank you by the way, sir, for your super chat. Haris, member with us for 7 months, said the Hungarians shined the brightest today. They were both top notch. Both top notch. Is there many times in the history of the Premier League, by the way, is this the first that you've seen 2 Hungarian fullbacks in a team in the Prem? Because that's what we had today. Hungarian right back, Hungarian left back, and a Hungarian set piece specialist with that free kick. Whew, what a strike. Liquid said, Dom with the shades of Stevie G. I love him. When he said, I'm not giving up my spot this season, when we start bringing in the likes of Wirtz and that, I thought, yes, Dom. Yes, Dom. But prove it. And he is. He's been phenomenal. Scratching Claimer said, must buy a right wing. Disappointed with Salah. Szoboszlai goal. Look, we all know and love and worship and idolise Mo. We know he's better than what we're seeing. So what it is that's causing it, I truly don't know. If it's a hangover from the emotional aspect of Diogo's loss, if it's father time, I don't know what it is, but something has to give. And whether it's him getting dropped for a little bit and realising that, nobody is undroppable, I don't know. We all want the best of him. We want to be talking about him in a positive sense. But he is a little bit off the pace, and there's no denying that. Rabadan said Szoboszlai has been our best player this season and up there last season as well. Ori, this game, hallmark of champions, is winning on a meh day. So one thing I hope a lot of people learn from Dom's performance is, think back to last year. A lot of people saying he wasn't good enough. A lot of people saying the games were passing him by. A lot of people saying we're not seeing the same Dom. I hope that this can be an example of giving players time. Wirtz has been coming in for a bit of it now. But I've no doubts in my mind, when we're sitting here in a few months' time or the end of the season, we're going to talk about Wirtz in the same way we're now talking about Dom. Give the lads a little bit of time to settle, and I think you'll see the best of them. These guys will only get better as they play together more and more. And if you bring in a certain Swedish centre forward as well, and maybe a certain English centre back, lots to build on. Charlie said the weight of Gyökeres on Canade's back pocket, he was awful. Awful. Like, what did he do? So, Arsenal fans, he's your number 9. Well, he's your number 14, but you get my point. He is, what does he do? Because he wasn't lead the line, not physical enough, didn't bully Canada and Van Dijk, didn't run in behind, didn't get into decent positions, didn't have a sniff. Delighted. Parking the bus against Liverpool at Anfield, that deserves what came to them. Brilliant team performance today, said Tom. Yep, we kept it tight and did what Arsenal wanted to do. We flipped the lid on them. Arsenal wanted to do that. Come, keep it tight, do something from a set piece, head off with 3 points. Well, how does that feel, lads? How does that feel that Dominic Szoboszlai bitch slapped you all back to London with your tail between your legs? Lewis said, our John Wick with the sniper. So good, dude. So good. Let's check in on our man of the match, Paul, and see how that's going. I'll run you through some of the numbers from the game then. So we have had nearly 6,000 votes already, so keep going. WR9 said, how can you play to draw? I know, mate, I am in complete agreement with you. It was very clear from moment one how Mikel Arteta wanted this game to go. And it wasn't to come and try to win. Say what you want about Man City, and I've lots to say, but when we played them in big games, they came to play. They came to leave it out there. Let's show what the best teams in England can do. Arsenal don't do that. They don't back themselves to come and play. They don't back themselves to have enough talent to do it. Or the manager's just too defensive, too defeatist. I've said it over and over and over again. It's why they won't win the league, because their manager is a coward in the way he sets his teams up. And Arsenal fans got to surely realise that at some point and wake up. He's, they talk about him being a Pep Guardiola disciple. Well, he does the Pep Guardiola overthinking for sure. Football Factory said, Kirkes, Ibu, Szoboszlai, oh my God. Well, stick Virg in that as well. Although Virg is pretty much always OMG. But yeah, all of them. Back line today stood up. And every single one of them deserve their flowers. David said, world-class strike. Szoboszlai should have got the camera. The humble photogard, said Zach. See, Arsenal only started to play when they went 1-0 down. And, they look quite dangerous. Like, this is what I don't understand about Arsenal. They have good footballers. Rice is an amazing player. Zubamendi's a great player. Odegaard's a good player. And yeah, they're going to say, well, we didn't have Saka, blah, blah, blah. Tough. That's league football. We didn't have Frimpong. So, the excuses will come from their side. But ultimately, the tactics from the manager for them should be what they're asking questions of. Because he doesn't back his players to go there and show that they're good footballers. He just puts in a rigid system and hopes for a set piece. It's horrible to watch. Ryan O'Driscoll, how are you, Ryan? Said Dom was man of the match even before the free kick. He was sensational. To all the Dom haters out there, I hope you choke on your hate. I was seeing it with Jones as well, Ryan, and I couldn't believe it. Because I've been one of Curtis Jones' biggest critics over the years. But he did well when he came on. And people were still saying, oh, Jones thinking up the gaff. I don't know what they're looking at. He was putting himself about, winning possession, knitting up play, helping us progress through the lines. I don't get it sometimes. Like I said, it just feels like some people have an agenda and they won't admit to somebody putting in a good shift. The best show of defence in ages. I agree. Curtis said, Dom the best right back in the league. Defence fantastic. Jones very, very good. Flow grew into that game and I take my hat off to Gomez. Class act. I thought you were right on Wirtz. I thought as the game went on, he did look like he was warming up to it a little bit. And what he needs is a bit of a stretch game. He needs to find the space to operate in. And I do think he's 90% of the way there. There are little things that when they click, everything will come together for him. Right, let's look at some of the numbers from the game. So possession, not much in it. 53% for Liverpool, 47% for Arsenal. Total shots, 11 for Arsenal, 1 on target, 9 for Liverpool, 3 on target. Dangerous attacks, 23 for us, 44 for Arsenal. Corners, 8 for the Gunners, so they had their set piece chances, 3 for us. Total passes, 432 for Liverpool, 373 for Arsenal. Passing accuracy percentage, 85 for us, 82 for them. Stargirl said Dom needs to stay put. I try Wirtz on the left. That's a good point, chat. What we saying? What we do moving forward now with the right back spot? I know we can all get carried away in a wave of emotion and talk about this, but what do we sincerely do with right back now? Because Bradley's back. Frimpong should be back after the international break, but it would feel incredibly unfair for Dom not to be carrying on playing at some point because he's incredible. Sakir said, where is Isak? Mate, have faith. Chill. You can't drop Dom, said Gavin. Frimpong could be used further forward now. Yeah, decent shout that. Dom start, said Malik. Abdullah said keep Szoboszlai at right back. Thank you, Abdullah. Chris Worrell said Dom, Frimpong back up, also back up to Salah. Doira said Szoboszlai has to be on the pitch, our best player so far this season. Mohamed said, Craig, to be honest, do we need Isak? Yes, we do, mate. And the reason I'm saying that is depth over the course of a season. I do. Imagine, just as an example today, bro, imagine we took off Ekitike and you were bringing on, Isak for the last 20 there. I think it does make a big difference to our aura as well as options for the manager. Dave said, Craig, we need Gay now with possible injury to Canada. Definitely do. But also, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Also, imagine the competition now. If Ibu stays and puts in that shift and Gay comes in, we have the ability to get Virgil a rest, which we haven't had for ages. So the man of the match poll, your Anfield Agenda man of the match with 90% of the vote was Dominic Szoboszlai. Never in doubt, really. Milos Kerkez, 7%. Virgil van Dijk, 1%. Alisson Becker, 0%. But your man of the match is Szoboszlai, and who could doubt it? We also have a poll running up now. What do we do with Dominic Szoboszlai? Keep him at right back, put him in midfield, number 10, or bench. We'll let you guys vote away on that one. Right, let me get back over to the super chats that I catch up on. Anything and everything said all the subs had an impact. Good job, Arna. They did, yeah. Credit where it's due. Still disagree with taking off Ekitike and leaving Salah on, but did Chiesa have an impact? Absolutely. Did Jones? Absolutely. Gomez? Yes. And Endo helped us see it out. So cannot argue with that point whatsoever. I'm not sure if I've read this one out, Stargirl, but I'll go again. Dom needs to stay put. I try Wirtz on the left. Smokey, who's top of the league? I believe we are, sir. Only perfect team left in the Premier League. It's now already 6 points clear of Manchester City, and we've played Newcastle away and Arsenal at home. So that's tasty for me. 3 points clear of Arsenal. Declan said Wirtz was pure class in that second half. Isak next said Sita. I'll be back here tonight. Don't worry about that. Dave, 30 months as a member, but much longer as a friend as well, Dave. Going to whip up a huge batch of chicken paprikas and put out the Concorde from retirement and send it to Dom. Dave's a big fan of the flight simulator games. Hope you're well, Dave. And again, lovely to see you win. Dave always batch cooks during a match day because he's nervous. Doesn't want to be watching the TV and standing still. He always cooks up something. The legend, who is an Arsenal fan, said, I'm worried going forward. I thought Madueke and Calafiori gave our best performances. Things need to change. Congrats on your win. We move on. And thank you, mate. I appreciate you coming back in like that as an Arsenal fan. Mark Royal said, I love this channel. This channel loves you, Mark. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Oh, what a day, lads. I'm buzzing. I am buzzing. Feel like a proper release now after, not fear, but nervous energy going into the game. Dom's better than Trent, said KJ. That goal was straight magic, said Tiny S. Keep it coming, lads. Keep the vibe coming. It was unbelievable. Like that's getting recorded match of the day, and I'm watching that over and over and over and over. It was sensational. Casper said, Flo was amazing second half. So excited. He did come into the game a lot more in the second half and started to knit it together and look like himself. Foxy, 32-yard cracker was said on the Sky Sports coverage. 32-yard distance. 32? Wow. I thought it was about 25, 26. Makes it even better, Carl. Owen Mulhern said Szoboszlai and Kirkes were unreal. As a fellow Irish Liverpool fan, I'm so happy, but knowing the Irish team has to play against them is scary. Yeah, well, we won't talk about Ireland playing Hungary yet, Owen. You know, we'll just enjoy the Hungarians on our side at the minute, mate. Captain Potts said, I've said all some of the people saying Grav McVirt starting or discarding Dom easily. This is where we can rest Salah and play Frimpong. Leave Szoboszlai at right back, said Marco. Mikel said, so that makes 40 matches out of 41 where Liverpool scores. We'll take that. We'll take that stat, mate. Thank you. Where am I at? I've done Owen's one, this one. After this, still think we need an addition up top? Absolutely, without a doubt. We need 2 in every position. We need 6. So yes, look, let's not start wishing away the idea of bringing in Isak and Mark A, you know. We'll keep an eye on that Palace game because Mark A starts for them. They're playing at 7. Casper said Gyökeres runs like he's in flip-flops. Shit player. Look, not for me to say if he's good or bad, but he's the one striker when Arsenal signed him. I was happy they signed because I was worried about other ones. So I never understood the fear that people had about Gyökeres coming to the Premier League because, you know, we've seen Darwin do numbers over in Portugal, but it's different when you come into the big boy league. Manuel said, big shout out to Gomez. 1 headers looked strong. Fair play. Yeah, no problem with that, mate. EJAG said fine margins. Bradley may have come on for Szoboszlai. It was fine margins indeed, yeah, like you've said, but there isn't a player out there today from the defence, whether they started or came off the bench, that doesn't deserve their credit. Fahim said, Craig, let's give Kirkes his followers. I feel many people in our community were giving him stick. They are, but look, a lot of the time people have too high of expectations from moment one. But what we seen today was a reaction. Defensively, we were conceding way too many and we looked vulnerable. We all wanted an improved defensive performance and we absolutely got it. From Szoboszlai to Kirkes to Konate to Van Dijk to Gomez. Phenomenal. Nothing but credit for that. Yeah, brilliant. Robert said, Dom man of the match, but if Kirkes, what a game. Love you, mate. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Right, don't forget, do hit that like button for me if you can, folks. Let's get up over 1,000 likes as well on the match reaction. Sudipta said, massive shout out to Joe Gomez. With all the things revolving around him, he still delivered, handled superbly. Wish we keep him. Very fair comment, mate. And whatever does happen with Joe, he has been a great servant to the football club. Gareth, Hug It Music, said, what a free kick, Craig. Kirkes was great. Canade too. We did great. Oh, dude, that free kick. The more you look at it, the better it gets. It definitely is one of them. Dominic Szoboszlai, speaking about Arsenal, said, coming second 3 times in a row in the Premier League is a compliment. There you go. I love that, Dom. Low-hanging fruit. Take it. Nothing wrong with it. Scratching Claimer said, Szoboszlai, OMG, clears Trent. Mo loves left-back pockets. Look, let's focus on the good. We have 2 weeks now to discuss moving forward, but let's focus on the good today, which was the defensive solidity, the Arteta being exposed for the absolute coward in the way he plays football that his teams are, which I'm not going to push back on. I'm not going to drop this. Arteta's a coward, the way he sets his teams up. It's cowardly football. Arsenal fans should admit this. They ain't winning shit. He thinks they're the best team in Europe. The best team in Europe don't play like that. The best team in Europe don't have anti-football performances. That is absolute shithouse football that deserved what they got. Nothing. Jay said Joe Gomez played really well. For the time he was on the pitch, he did. Ray said, I think we played for a draw too, not good enough. We didn't. And let me read something out to you, mate. It wasn't a great game, but the context of why it wasn't a great game is important. Now, let me read something out. Where is it? This. So this is Peter Schmeichel. No need for him to be in any way pro-Liverpool, as we know. He said this on his comms. It's not lived up to the expectations. You need 2 teams to have a good game of football, and there's only one team trying to play football, and that's Liverpool. I don't want to insult Arsenal, but their brand of football is so annoying to watch. It's designed to exploit opponents while waiting for set pieces. So, you know, we have to have a team who wants to come and play football, and come hell or high water, it wasn't pretty, but we did find the way, and Arsenal got what they deserved, which was nothing. Nessie said, today I saw the rectifications of mistakes, better communication, big performance as expected. We will only grow upwards. Wesley, Jones won us that free kick. People need to wake up if they're hating on him. We were solid all over, not really giving them space. Yep. And the fight was there. The snap was there, which was way better. And on the referee, I thought he let the game flow better. There was too many niggly free kicks to Arsenal for my liking in the first half, and I thought Zubamendi went too long without getting booked. But overall, I thought that game, he let some stuff go, and it seems like they want a bit more physicality reintroduced into the league. What Arsenal again should be ashamed of is the flopping on the ground crap. Every time. They can grapple, they can grab, but as soon as they're losing a battle, fall on the ground, hope for a free kick. Add Isak and Gain to this squad and 21 is secured, said Vimal H. Simba the Whitish Cat said, can't decide between Milos, Szoboszlai for man of the match. Both were superb. I would probably edge it to Dom, but he did win it with 90% of the vote. But both fullbacks were brilliant. Certainly redemption day today for a lot of people. Paul Donnelly said, does Gay starting tonight make him a doubt for us? No, it's just Palace being greedy, trying to get every performance out of the centre-backs they can. I wouldn't read too much into that. Hopefully he comes through it unscathed, but again, we seen Canade go off with a knock today. What does that mean? And what happens with Gomez? There are definitely some unanswered questions in the market that will be resolved. But we now have, exactly as we sit here right now, 24 hours, the clock starts. It is 7 o'clock now. Clock starts, 24 hours to go. Mama Klopp Irish, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, mate. Appreciate you. Where are we at? This one from Martin Lawrence. The defence showed up today, big time. Took care of Arsenal set pieces. We can't seriously be considering selling Joe Gomez. I don't want to sell him. I don't think anybody wants to sell him. but it would always just be about minutes in his season. So I'm not sure what happens with Joe. I really can't give you anything on that. I don't know. But I do know the numbers being spoken about, like 8 million is a piss take. He's worth so much more than that. Vava Knives said Frimpong instead of Salah. Something has to give on the right. You can't just keep putting in these performances. He does have enough credit in the bank with a lot of us. Of course he does. He's a legend. But nobody should be undroppable. Angel Yana said, love the channel. Can't wait for the Isak. Here we go. Yeah, that'll be a lovely way to cap off these 24 hours, mate. And watch this space. Cyberflea. So what a strike from Szoboszlai. Insane goal. Love you, Craig. Thank you, mate. Love you too. Love all of you. Right. I think we all love everyone today, don't we? Because why wouldn't we? So, poll question. We're going to bring it to a close in a moment. We asked, what do we do with Szoboszlai? Keep him at right back, put him in midfield, put him in number 10, or bench him. And 44% said keep him at right back. So it shows, at least there you get the 4 lads on the pitch, right? Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Graf, Aka. Right, let's keep going. Class defence today, lack creativity for the most part, but that game called for a moment of magic to win it, and boy, did Super Sob step up. Sedan said first defeat for Arsenal against the Big Six since April 2023. Hate Arsenal nowadays with their rugby performances and got a taste of their own medicine. Dom, unbelievably gifted, central attacking mid, central mid, defensive mid, right wing, left wing, right back, said Flay to stay. He was brilliant. Phenomenal, mate. Danny said, woohoo, we love you, Liverpool. Szoboszlai man of the match. And Reconnaissance Media said, okay, Craig, Vert 6 out of 10, but steadily building into a £150 million player, in my opinion. As much as I really don't rate Curtis Jones, he came on and made a difference. Appreciate you, sir. And yeah, Wirtz isn't there yet. I'm not trying in any way to say he's picture perfect, but you can see he's getting there. And he did get better as that game went on. What's this? So let's talk Kirkes. Here's some of his stats before we finish up. Final passes, 4. Tackles, 1. 67%. Last man tackles, 1. Blocks, 1. Clearances, 5. Headed clearances, 3. Ground duels, 1. 100%. 5 out of 5 in his duels. Aerial duels, 50% success rate. But look, he ain't the tallest, is he? Fouls committed, 0. Madueke pocketed, 1. We love that. Shout out LFC Transfer Room for that post and the stats. Alex said, I swear there was smoke coming off that fecker when it was hit. Bridesmaids again for Arteta. Yep. It stayed hit, didn't it, Alex, when it was hit? It stayed hit. Right, ladies and gentlemen, last shout for the player ratings. If you would like to submit them, you need to scan the QR code and join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. You can just scan that big one there on the screen. I'll leave it up for a few seconds. If you can, do scan that QR code. That will bring you to the WhatsApp where you will see the player ratings link. There was another couple came in really quick. Ray Nimrod said, the Schmeichel comment is ironic considering our best chance was Szoboszlai's free kick, not enough desire or going forward. You need to understand why though. It's not like we didn't want to play. But when you have 10 men behind the ball in very rigid formation, it's difficult to break that down. And again, they were waiting for us to give it away in counter. So you've got to understand why we didn't get to play in an attacking sense, because we weren't allowed to, because that's all they wanted to do, was frustrate. How do I pronounce this one? Laxon PvP HD said, what a free kick by Szoboszlai, Craig. Fair play to Liverpool. I'm an Arsenal fan, but we didn't deserve to win the game. You're right, Craig. All love. Thank you, my friend. Class act. Appreciate that. I really, really do. Thank you. Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to go. I've got to go over to Lee Gunner's channel to do a reaction on there with him as, a thank you for coming on to ours. I will be back tonight about 9 o'clock for the late night agenda, where, of course, focus will turn to Isak and Gay. Player ratings video will be out in about half an hour-ish, so keep an eye out for that one. But tonight, 9 o'clock, I need you back here with me. Late night agenda to rob Lee Gunner's tone. We're going to have a meeting here. So, you know what I mean? Let's get going. Big meeting. Right, Arteta, we were the best team and deserved to win. Yeah, if he really said that, he's fucking deluded beyond help. But we already knew that. So look, we'll see you at 9. Check out the player ratings. Love you guys to bits. Enjoy. We'll talk soon. Bye bye.